Good morning. So I'm just sitting outside and drinking my coffee. And over the weekend, I did a lot of stuff in my garden, and so I wanted to just update you, show you what I've done and how things are going. Okay, so first off, you can see the bamboo garden bed that my husband made me. I filled it the rest of the way with compost, and I planted out a lot of my peppers. I believe this was almost the rest of my peppers. Some of them were a little small to plant out, so I left them on the table. But I'm really happy. These have been in here for 2 days now, and they all seem very happy. If you didn't know, peppers actually like being planted closer together, so this is not a problem for these peppers. But I'm just really happy because I thought a couple of them looked really sad in the pots, and so like specifically that one right there, the violet sparkle pepper did, and also that Ruia pepper right there. They looked really sad in the pots, but I'm glad that after I planted them and I watered them really well, they all seem to really like their new little home. And then over here on my table, I have a lot more space. As you can see, I did not get the time to plant up my okra, but that's okay. My lemongrass is sprouting even though it was flooded, so that makes me happy. I planted Ruia orange peppers in here and it got flooded out really bad with the other trays. And I ended up getting a Murasaki purple pepper. And I know that's what it is because it's purple. It's the only purple variety of pepper that I planted, or that comes up purple anyway. And so that's pretty cool because I only have one of those anyway, but hopefully the others will sprout. Peppers are really slow to germinate, so I'm just gonna leave the tray there and see how it does. I was able to move my 6 packs over here of the lettuce leaf basil and the zinnias, and they are looking really good. I knew once I would get them over in the part sun that they would just start going really quick, so I'm excited about that. And then over here I only have a few peppers left. That one is dead. it's just, I've tried to save it. It's not, I don't know, it's not happy, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. Here's that other Murasaki purple pepper. Isn't that cool how it's like purple on the sprout leaves and in the stem? And this one even right here, it has that purple on the outside leaf. That's really pretty. Some grass in there. But that's cool. So now I have 2 of those. So right across from this bed, I have this purple garden bed over here. And I really needed to weed this out. So I did. I weeded it out the best I could at the time. It looks much better. I filled it almost to the top with compost. And I planted out a lot of the rest of my tomato starts. And they all look really good. I should do a video on transplanting tomatoes. They're pretty easy. They're very forgiving. They don't mind being handled too much. And then on the other side of this banana pepper plant, I have some more. I wanted to put these tomatoes more in the shade because the ones that I have over in more sun, the leaves are curling really bad and they're not doing so well. So I was hoping that these would, do better over here because they're closer to my house. They'll get more shade, I think. But yeah, so if those die, if those don't make it, oh, there's a spider web on that. I was like, what is that? Why does it look like that? There's a spider web there. The spider can stay though because they're my friends. They eat the bed bugs. Usually in the morning, I do a walk around to see how everything's doing. I noticed that. This is open now, polar bear zinnia. This flower's still hanging on. I did have a squash over here, but it got eaten by squash bugs, and so now the grass is just there. I am actually going to tear all this out right here today sometime and plant some new seeds there. I think I'm going to do some more zinnias because I really want to add more pollinator plants to my garden. And I think I gave away most of my other colors of zinnias. I planted a ton of zinnias, and I gave some to my aunt, some to my mother-in-law, some to my friends, 2 of my friends, and I accidentally, I planted all different colors. And somehow all of mine look like they're pink and white. Not all of them are open yet, but I also planted purple and yellow and red and orange. And I don't have any of those, so I'm probably going to put 2 right here of different colors. So let's check on my squash. See if any flowers are open in there today. Yep. Well, this one looks like it was open yesterday. It looks like it just closed up. You can see a little squash right there. That will turn yellow when it's ready. Looks like there was 2 yesterday. Hopefully they got pollinated. And then here's my basil. I don't know what's going on with this one. That looks sad. Oh, it got broken off. Aw. Well, I'm gonna leave it, and maybe by some miracle it will still grow. We'll see. Probably not though, but that's okay. I planted a lot of this basil. So over here in my other purple bed, I've got all these sweet potatoes. This one keeps coming over to the edge of the bed and I keep having to put it back in there. It just wants to be free and come out. But no, I'm not letting it. So in the sweet potato bed, I also have my giant Cuban oregano bush that I haven't pruned back yet. I didn't have time. But I planted this watermelon and it looks really sad, and I'll tell you why. I found this watermelon in my compost pile and I don't know what variety it is. Last year I planted a ton of watermelons. They're always my favorite thing to plant, so a ton of different varieties. And it was big, so I wasn't sure how well it would do, but I wanted to move it over here where it would thrive. I could put something under it to grow on top of so it doesn't get choked out by the weeds. So I did move it. And this part died, but this part of the vine is still alive and doing really well. I did give it a fertilizer, and so I'm really excited that it's gonna make it looks like. Yay! So over the weekend, my husband harvested a bunch of his ghost peppers. These ones still aren't ripe. They're like green tipped on the bottom, but he harvested a whole bunch. So those are in the freezer for hot sauce, so that's exciting. So over here I have my Malabar spinach on my chicken coop, and I don't know where this stuck in there, but it's just taking off, doing really well. So I'm really excited about my Malabar spinach. It's so pretty. There's my purple potted yard-long beans. They are grabbing on and climbing up. Once they latch on, they're just like, woof, they grow a couple inches a day. It's crazy. Looks like that's the only one that grabbed on so far. Put out a runner. I caught a grasshopper yesterday eating my beans, my bean plants, so that was no good, but the chickens got a nice yummy treat. So between my 2 cattle kennels and the squash, here's some of those zinnias that I showed you before. They're just so pretty. I have to show them to you every time because they're so pretty. And here are my Christmas put lima beans. They're way up cattle panel. So, ooh, that sun is bright. I hope it didn't blind you guys. Let me go over here and show you. Is that better? They're way up there. And last night, I saw that grasshopper, and so I was checking on all my beans, and I noticed, look at that, bean blossom pods, or buds. And there's more, but wait, there's more. There's another one over here. Where did it go? There it is. Oh, so pretty. I'm excited. I love lemon beans. They're so good. These are my favorite, and they're so pretty. Let me grab my coffee. And look over here. So everything looks good. I harvested my first okra yesterday, and I just ate it fresh. It was really good, actually. It really wasn't slimy. I like to harvest my okra when they're young, so like only 2-3 inches long, because there's another okra growing under this flower bed. See, there it is, and there's one right there. So okra are just very prolific. Those are ready, but you just, once they start producing, you're gonna be out here like every day harvesting them, or they're gonna get too big. I'm gonna try pickled okra this year, and I thought that would be a good use of it. So look, I don't know if you remember my garden tour, I showed you guys my loofah that it was just reaching it, and look at it, it's climbing. It attached itself. So I'm super excited about my loofahs. I know that these are just gonna take off and be really pretty. There's an okra pod right there. Look how pretty that color is on that. So I'll probably come out here and harvest the couple that are on here. I have 6 plants, so I think I have 1, 2, 3 to harvest, and I'll probably just give them to my boys to eat because they like okra raw. So over here, there's the loofah on one end, but here's my silver slicer cucumbers on this end, and here's my illumination zinnia. The color is fading, but look, there's a little bee getting some food this morning on it, and that's perfectly fine. I leave them in here until they fade. The more you cut zinnias, the bushier it will bush out. So as soon as this flower fades, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off and discard of it. I'm not gonna let it go to seed yet. Once you allow the plant to start creating seed, it thinks its job is done. A plant lives to reproduce, make seed after its own kind. And so once it does that, it thinks it's done and isn't as productive. So I'm gonna keep clipping until the end of the season. And when I feel like there's, about a month left of the season, then I'm gonna just leave them on there to go to seed fully, and then I can save seeds. This one hasn't flowered yet either. And then over there I have, where is it? There it is. There's 1, 2, 3 more. I love zinnias. I wanted them all throughout my garden bed to attract pollinators. So, and then my cucumbers are looking good. Let me back up a little. I gotta put my coffee down. So my cucumbers over here, my Armenian cucumbers, are looking really good. I moved this so it attached on. They're all on there now except for this one. But look at that one. It's like huge next to this sunflower. It's doing really well. So, and it's got flowers. Yay. I haven't really looked for cucumbers yet because I felt like it was too early, but I'm gonna look anyway. There's probably not any yet, but nope, but there are flowers, and that's a good thing. So we'll just keep letting it grow. I just am putting that little runner on there. Not quite, okay, it's not ready to go on there yet, but that's okay. So I did clear out a spot here. My squash was just decimated, so I'm gonna plant something here. My daughter was playing with my little garden frogs. Just put them over here. She loves those. But I'm gonna definitely put something else here. Not sure what yet, but something. I did put pallets out for on all of my watermelons, all the way down. So along this whole side, I have melons growing, and a lot of them were starting to come out. So I put the pallets down for them so that the weeds don't grow up and kill my vines. I've grown watermelons out on grass before, and even on weeded grass where I would try to get all the grass out of it, but inevitably we get so much rain here, the grass grows so quickly that it just choked it out and killed it, like, eventually. I would get some watermelons, but not like the full season. So I'm doing this year to try it out. So far it's working great. These are Clay County yellow watermelons. And then I have this sad little orange Sweet Glow watermelon. I don't know what's going on with it. Look how sad that is. And it's the same age as these ones here. I planted at the same time. So look at that polar bear zinnia. It's so pretty. And there's my little volunteer kale that makes me happy, and my coffee. So here's the Moon and Stars melons that I planted. Right here. They're coming out. Yay! And then this is an Alibaba watermelon, which is also coming out. Sugar Baby. And this is a honeydew. This looks like it should be on a cattle panel. So I might move this to go over, but it's so big I don't want to risk losing it. I'm just gonna leave it here, I guess, because I don't want to risk losing it. But from now on, I will know honeydew can go on a cattle panel, because look how it's growing upward. And it has these more tendril-like vines. I think it would do better on a cattle panel. So this is my Georgia rattlesnake watermelons. These ones I planted first, obviously. And they're doing well. I found a pollinated melon on there. Let me find it for you. See if I can find it. There it is. Right there. It's still there. Oh no! Bugs. I've never had a problem with pests in my watermelons, so that's new. I haven't seen anything out here. Doesn't mean it can't happen though. There's a little bee working. Where'd he go? There he is. Thank you, little bee. So I like to come out here and check. I did see him pollinating this one, so hopefully that one's pollinated and it won't get eaten by bugs. Usually I let the watermelons grow until they're a good size, and I'll put like a stocking over them to protect them from the bugs. I shouldn't say usually, but a couple years ago, the first time I tried growing watermelons, I did that to protect them. And it worked, but I found it wasn't necessary because I didn't have any pest issues, and so I haven't done it again. That's actually the first time I've ever had a bug eat watermelons, and I grow them every year. So that's disappointing, but that's okay. It happens, I guess. Animals gotta eat too. And here is another female blossom. See the fruit right in front of the flower? So that can become a watermelon if it gets pollinated by a male flower. So here's my lemongrass, happily blowing in the wind. And cantaloupe is still there. Oh, I didn't show you guys. There's the cantaloupe. I found some volunteers, which always make me happy. So right over here, where I have these okra, last season I had 2 jalapeno plants here They were about a year old. They just were not doing well, so I pulled them out. But look what I found right there under my okra. I don't know if you can tell what those are, but those are pepper plants. They're volunteers, and there's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's 4. 4 of them. So I do need to separate those because pepper plants like friends, but not that many friends, and definitely not. It's going to impede on the growth of my okra. So I'm definitely going to pull those up and pot them until they get a good size, and then I'll put them wherever I want them in my garden when they grow in a few more weeks. But yay, free plants. Those are plants I did not have to work for. That's exciting. So that always makes me happy. So over here, as you can see, my lettuce leaf basil is getting quite large. It's like maybe 3-4 inches tall now, which is exciting. These ones are smaller. Oh, this one's leaning over. Interesting, but that's okay. So what I'm gonna do, I don't know if you've ever grown basil before. Here's some more. But you really need to prune it for it to bush out and grow nice and full. So what you do is you look at the main stem of your basil. Here's the main stem. And you can see where it has like little branches. And then in the armpit of it, there's another stem here. So you can pick the stem off, right here, pitch it off, and then leave it like that, and it will bush out. I'm gonna do it right now because I'm not preparing anything with this. But I did want to show you, that's how you prune basil. And you just pinch the tops off. So every time you harvest, you prune your basil. And it will just grow bushier and bushier. So I'm actually gonna move these zinnias because this one is gonna be too big for the pot. I put it here because I didn't know what to do with it at the time, but I'll probably put it over in one of those empty spots where my squash died. I think that's a good idea. And in this pot, this is actually 2 zinnias, but they're doing really nice. I wonder if these are the other color varieties. Hopefully. If not, that's okay. Pink and white are still really pretty, but that's all I have in my garden. Even though I planted so many different colors, somehow I gave all the others away, but that's okay. And my thyme is still doing great. Love thyme. So over here in front of my chicken coop, I also filled the blocks in the rest of the way with compost because they were used up. I've been using these for many years. And I'm gonna fill these in with some kind of seed as well, which I'm excited about. And then right over here in front of my chicken coop, I have another little square garden bed. And I filled this up with compost, and so this needs to be planted out as well. So I have a lot of room to still plant things. I have this bed, my blocks over there, and then half of that purple garden bed where I planted out the tomatoes. So I did buy some bush beans to try out this late. We'll see if they produce. I'm thinking about doing the rest of that purple bed that gets more shade with the bush beans, and maybe do this whole bed with sunflowers because I don't have any sunflowers right now. I have a couple, but not very many, and I love sunflowers, so I thought this would be nice for sunflowers, and it gets lots of sun. And then I'll probably put my peppers over in that tomato bed where I put the tomato transplants and my banana peppers over there. And I just realized as I was walking back over here to sit down to close out my video that my Cubanelle pepper has blossoms on it. Look at that. Yay! Soon. So, and then over here, I thought this little sprout was a pepper. The leaves looked like a pepper. They still look like a pepper to me. But I'm wondering if it's a weed. because it's got a red stem. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna let it grow some more. My other pepper isn't bothered by it, so I'm gonna let it grow some more and see if I'm babying a weed or an actual pepper. We will see. I'll keep you updated on that. Okay, the sun has come up more and it's blinding me, but thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my little update on all the work I was doing this weekend out here, and I hope you have a blessed day. See you next time.